Hello everyone, Graydon here again, making another video. This time I'll be showing you Rogue Mage. So I'm going to show you some skills, what they do, and what's important to level, which buffs to use, and I will be demonstrating how to kill a boss or two. I'm in the middle of farming right now, getting some items for tier stones, but figure it's a good time to break it down and show you guys. So, be going into Bone Peak. I picked that one because the boss drops purples, which give tier 6s, and 94 blues, which also give tier 6s. It either gives one or two of the blues, depending on your amount of luck you have. But just having with the guild buff luck and your housekeeper luck buff is usually enough to get to. Okay. Now hide is one of your important skills as a rogue. It drops your aggro range against mobs down very low, so you can get very close to them and they don't attack you. They don't know you're there. So I like to open up with Shadow Prison on some mobs because it stuns them and they can't do anything. And throw and kill them. I do that to these mobs because if you come up to them without hide or anything, they hit you with this bleed or dot for 2% of your HP every second, which is kinda nasty. Okay, I got another one. Oh well. Whatever. I was just demonstrating to you guys. Okay. Oop, I better make sure that's on easy mode. Come on. It is on easy, yes, okay. So, let's open up the book here. A couple other rogue skills. Okay, before you're going to do anything as a rogue, you need to know the most basic rotation. Your basic 3 skills are, this is for any rogue combo, is Shadow Stab, Low Blow, and Wound Attack. In that order. Okay, let me put this guy away so he's not in the way. Okay. So Shadow Stab does, depending on the level, does main hand weapon DPS plus dexterity and puts a bleed effect on the target for 10 seconds. That does like a little bit of damage. Blah blah blah, not that important. Low Blow does that amount of damage based on the level of your skill times dexterity. If the target suffers from the bleed effect, it causes additional grievous wound. Bleed effect is caused by Shadow Stab, Blind Spot, or Sneak Attack, but I'm not going to get into those right now. Then Wound Attack causes additional damage for each bleeding or grievous wound caused by the rogue skill you cast. So basically what this means is you go up to a target, you hit Shadow Stab, it hits it once. You use Low Blow, it hits it once for the Low Blow, once for the Shadow Stab, and puts a grievous wound on the target. Wound Attack, it hits it once for Shadow Stab, once for Low Blow, and once for itself. Well, not the skills itself, but the bleeds they put on the target. So effectively with these 3 skills you hit the target 6 times. So if you do it in this order, maximizes the damage you get out of those skills. And during boss fights, you have limited energy, so you don't want to do it in the wrong order and waste energy for less DPS. Okay, let's get into some other skills. Throw and Nimble Hands are the 2 most important skills you have for a rogue mage. For a rogue, this is still one of your most important skills. It increases your attack speed. And attack speed is one of the biggest factors in the physical damage uh, calculations. So that increases, that increases your overall damage that you do, increases your attack speed, which all of your skills are based on your DPS or damage per second, and if you increase how fast you're attacking, it increases your DPS. Now, throw is the most important, or second most important skill for Rogue Mage because of their first elite skill, Enchanted Throw. With every normal attack you do, it carries additional throw damage, and that damage is proportional to your throw skill level. And normal attack is the white attacks from when you just hit the attack button and swing your weapon. That will be like 70% or more of the damage that you do from this one skill. It's ridiculous. Make sure you always have it on. It stays, see there's no time limit on it, it's permanent buff until you die or you take it off or switch classes. Just make sure you put it back on right after. Because if you don't have that on, you're not doing anywhere near as much damage as you could. Already went over these two. Numbing Dagger, Dagger Mastery, obviously max that. Blind Spot, if you're beginning out as a rogue, you don't need to worry about that stuff. Blind Spot or Sneak Attack. Hide, obviously max that. Enliven Blade, it's not really worth putting TP into. I put it up to 50 just so I could test it out. Treasure Hunter increases the party's chance of finding items, 20% luck rate. Day of Rain, also not worth putting TP into, especially starting out when you don't have a lot to allocate, so I'd start with these. Throw Summoned, Shadow Stab, Low Blow Moon Attack, but a lot more so into these two than Shadow Stab. Evasion, dodge rate up by 40%, which is crucial if you're going solo. Combo Throw, it's nice, but it's not used for boss fights. The Life Rope Throw, elite skill for Rogue Mage, makes you throw 4 daggers instead of 2, which is kind of nice, but again, not for boss fights. Could be used for trash mobs and other stuff like that. Fervent Attack increases physical attack speed by 20%, and defense is decreased by 20% for 30 seconds. What you should note about this is this does not stack with Strong Stimulant, so don't use this unless it's a longer fight and this is on cooldown. That's 20%, that's 25%, that's better, go with that. Again, unless this is on cooldown and that's available, then you can use that. Create Opportunity, once you get most of your other stuff up, you could start putting more TP into this skill, increases your physical critical hit rate. Don't worry about the stun effect, you're like basically never going to be close enough when you use this, because you're using this as a pre-boss burn like buff, so you won't be close enough to get that stun. Maybe there might be a use for it during PvP, but I haven't tested it out. Informer increases the party's chance to deal critical hits by 300 points. That scales with level, obviously. So just double check with the other rogues in your party before you use it, because if they use, say, a level 98 one, and then you use your level 51 right after, you will overwrite it for the entire party and lose out on crit rate. So if there's more than one rogue in the party, determine which one has the higher informer, and then they'll use it. Illusion Blade Dance is the level 70 elite skill, and this is like this and the Enchanted Throw are the reasons why Rogue Mage is so much better than any of the other rogue combos. You enter the Illusion Blade Dance state that lasts for 30 seconds. It causes 450 projectile DPS. That's projectile DPS. It sounds nice, but you realize that's projectile damage based off of the damage of your projectile weapon, which is actually not a whole lot, so it's not that impressive. But the secondary effect is, well, it's an effect. It increases your attack speed by 20%. Talked about that already. Your attack speed is directly proportional to the damage you do, and critical damage by 50%. So if you were to crit something for, say, 100k without that skill, use that skill, you would crit it for 150k. Or say if you would hit for 1,000,000, you'd hit for like 1.5 million, whatever. So it's basically like having almost another plussed up ring for 30 seconds. So that's very huge to your DPS. Okay, I'm going to go over some of the items that are nice to have. Okay, for solo, you would want this cape from VN. You right click to use to receive the shadow flash effect, which increases your dodge rate by 40% for 10 seconds. Using that with evasion puts you up to 80% dodge rate for, I guess 10 seconds, but that's huge. That is crucial for if you're going to be doing solo farming against bosses, because being squishy with that little HP, you take like exactly a hit or less, or a hit and a half from a boss, and you're dead. So dodge tanking for the win. The other one, if you were doing DPS and you're not solo farming, is Aoth Strike Cape. You right click to use to get the ultimate shot effect, which increases your physical damage by 240. Now that's 240 damage before all of the damage buffs or damage food or even dagger mastery is calculated, so that scales very quickly during burns. All VN capes, the Aoth stuff, they share the same cooldown of 2 minutes, so if you use the Shadow Flash one, you won't be able to use the Ultimate Shot one, and vice versa. Okay, what else? Okay, the pots you want to have with you is caviar sandwich, either the housekeeper or the normal crafted one. The critical hit rate by 48% isn't very huge, but you want the critical physical damage by 10%. Lasts a full minute. There's no cooldown, so you could use as much as you want. I don't want to waste too many of them though. I'm going to be doing a lot of farming once I'm done with this video, but yeah, like I said, that critical damage, I already explained that. Informer, Fervent Attack. The item set skill from Warnorkin Arena, Unknown Choice. It gives you a random buff for 60 seconds. Either Excite, increases physical attack power by 5% plus 500. Blood Boil, which increases critical physical hit rate by 250. Or Immortality, which is like meh, that increases HP by 5% plus 1,000. There are a whole lot of really good rogue set skills. There's a Yuaka's Blessing that like increases energy by like very little every like 8 seconds and increases offhand damage by 3%. I don't have it. I'm too lazy to go farm it. Meh. Strong Stimulant, already talked about that. Extinction Potion increases critical physical hit rate by 650 for 20 seconds, which is great if you have low crit rate, but I have like almost 80%, so I usually use Deadly Potion. These two do not stack. So increases attack power by 3,000 for 20 seconds. And again, that's 3,000 points before any of your physical attack buffs are taken into effect. So it comes before attack food and every other buff you have. So yeah, that 3,000 turns to like about 10,000 all said and done on your burns. You want your hero potion, increases all attributes by 20%, physical attack or damage, depending on how much you have versus where you are, but it's a safe assumption that you're always going to need the physical attack one. Um, want your pet, dark attribute pet, because it increases your dexterity and your strength, which both give physical attack. So dark is the pet that you want for rogue. Assassin's Rage, I don't think I went over that. For 15 seconds, increases your chance to do a critical hits by 1,500. That's a lot of crit rate. And during the time, critical damage is also enhanced as well. It doesn't say it in the skill, but that's the critical damage enhancement is another 10%. Tranquility Powder, if you are having trouble with your aggro, you should probably use it anyway, but a lot of people are lazy, like me. But yeah, decreases all aggro by 25%, so you don't take aggro and you don't die. Premeditation. There is a skill, an elite skill for Rogue Mage that lets you use premeditation in combat. I personally haven't really gotten down how to get that done, like most effectively, but yeah, it also puts it on a minute 30-second cooldown, which is a lot. Yeah, so I'm going to unsummon the pet so I can put on hide, sneak over to the boss. Okay, gotta watch out for these mobs. You can get kinda close, but just be careful. Kinda close. Okay, got it. Should have put Unbridled Enthusiasm on. If you have Unbridled on and you're in hide, and you max hide, your movement speed's only decreased by 20% versus, I don't know, like 50 or whatever is unleveled. And then you gain 15% from Unbridled, so you're only losing 5%. But okay, this mob you have to watch out for, because she pats back and forth real quick, like she's going over there, and she's going to immediately come back. And then she comes over this way, but be very careful. When you drop off this ledge, you gotta drop as close to the wall as you can. And try to land on this slant here, because if you land on the slant, you won't take damage, and if you don't take damage, you don't pop out of hide. You could take like exactly a step and a half away from this wall, and then the bosses will aggro. It's like crazy high aggro range. Now I guess this is kind of a tutorial how to farm this place too. You got two bosses. Since there's two bosses, they split the normal amount of HP in half. There's Laurel and Sambracia Gordy. You want to target her, because she hurts a lot if you don't kill her quickly. She has a cast bar after a while. You just need to run away from it. It's very easily avoidable. Just need to make sure you kill her first, and then you could take your time kinda with her. Okay. So my pet again. Some of the other buffs you want are your wedding food. These are just the run-of-the-mill ones. Increases basic attributes by 2%, and strength and dexterity by 5, and critical damage by 1%. Could use Touch of the Unicorn. I only have 2 of them. I don't really feel like using them. Potion of Exquisite Skill restores energy to 100. It's good for boss fights if they run a little bit longer. Lets you get an extra little rotation off. Now, probably do a couple runs of this place. The other ones will go faster, but okay. So make sure. What am I missing? I'm missing something. But I don't know, what am I missing? Oh well, I'll find out. But okay, so same basic Gordy. When you're farming this place, or farming any place against bosses that you might be pushing your limits at, you want to have either the tambourine, which increases the physical and magical damage of your party members by 15%, or the lute that increases attack speed, or both. So it will help you out a lot. Now, the thing to notice about the music is while you're playing music, you can use your other buffs, but make sure you're not using a buff when the cast bar finishes. Otherwise, either the music will cancel out the buff you're currently trying to put on, or the buff you're putting on cancels out the music and you won't receive the buff. So just give it a second at the end, and then after the buff's applied, go back to your buffing. So I'm going to start here. Hopefully I don't die horribly for you guys to watch, but okay, so Tambo, wait for a finish, strong stem, evasion, great opportunity, and dodge. Okay, you want okay. See, you got 1 tier 6, 2 tier 6, 3 tier 6, daggers, and mementos. Got a macro to leave party and summon my pet and rejoin party. So, okay. Now this next round I'll go over a couple more things with you. I'll show you the scrutinizer, not to show off like the damage I'm doing, but to show you like where your damage is coming from. You know, like what ratio of your damage is being done by what. My P attack's probably either higher or lower than most of you guys. I have a hard mode dagger that's under Dura, so I've also done this before I replaced my dagger. I had like 5,000 less damage. I was still able to do it, so I don't know. It's worth trying to see if you guys can do it. But okay, where's Scrutinizer? Let's see. Got 6 million damage from the enchanted throw. Yeah, only 5 of them were normal, but 6 million from that, 3 from that, 2 from that. So wound attack, low blow, attack, and shadow stab. See, Illusion Blade Dance, it hit 7 times, only did 1 million. Throw, bleed, grievous wound, blah, 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 blah. See, yeah, those don't really matter, but most of your damage comes from that enchanted throw. Would have been more if I crit. I probably should use the crit potion, but hide. My pet put away, yeah. Just because those Boshi's stun. Anyway, we get back there. I don't usually farm this place a lot because it's not often I have time to actually sit down and farm for like a couple hours. Okay. Hide. I hide up to the mobs, and then shadow prison them so they're stuck there, and then kill them, then hide. Hide. Sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. Is that sneaky, sneaky? Okay. Back into the instance. Okay. So I didn't really go over exactly what I was going to do for a rotation running in. But I don't feel like making a new video, so split them in half. Between them. Yeah, you can get really close to these guys, but don't push it. This guy, you can, if you're going up against the wall all the way, he won't aggro to you. This guy stops a little short up here, so I know, but when you're going places for the first time, you want to like give them a chance to run back and forth so you know what's happening. So, oh, okay. Sometimes I get a little bit too brave. Oh, see, it took damage, popped me out of hide, but I was lucky enough that they didn't aggro to me. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is when you run in, if you want, you can use throw on the way in. It'll give you a little bit more damage. Thing to know about throw is it's not on global cooldown, so that means you can use a skill and then use throw like immediately after, and it won't take like an extra second. You know how you use that. There's a little red thing spins around there. That's the cooldown. You look at throw, doesn't have that. Same thing for combo throw. That's a cast, and by the time you get to the target, it'll still be channeling, and you miss out on your white attacks, which is where the damage from enchanted throw comes from. So you don't want to be doing that. So if you want, use throw. Do not use combo throw running in. Not on bosses. So you run in, spamming attack. I have 2 attacks just to make sure my fingers are near them all the time. Run in, spam attack. Use shadow stab, low blow, wound attack, all the while spamming the attack button. Then I guess target over to the other one, start spamming the attack. You should have enough for a shadow stab, a low blow, and if you don't, use a exquisite skill potion, and you'll get the low blow wound attack, and should probably be dead by then. So yeah, you could probably make macros and do whatever to help some of that along, but I don't feel like getting into that. Oh, I should show you the macros for the dodge and the P damage cape. That's over here. I'll just pause right here so you can copy that down if you want. It's to use that, it equips it, you wait 0.9, then you use the item that's in that slot. That's how you activate it. Then you swap this line out with whatever your normal cape is, because I'll put that back on and I have it wait 2 minutes and then whisper me that my dodge cape's ready. Don't have a whisper me, please. Change that to your name, not my name. Thank you. Then it's the same thing for Hayoth Strike Cape. It's like the exact same thing, except you just change this line, and then this part. Again, change this to your name, not my name. Okay. I think that's everything, but yeah, let's do this again. Clear this. I'll try the crit potion this time. Yeah, where's my P attack keep going? Oh, I didn't summon my pet. Sambracia. Make sure this is on always. Just keep putting it on. Okay. Tambo. Caviar. Farmer. Unknown. Wait. Strong stem. Crit. Dodge. Okay, what'd it drop? Cinnamon leaf. No, thank you. Nah. Thing to notice about Illusion Blade Dance is even if you die, I'm not sure if they fixed it or not, but even if you die, that continual projectile DPS you saw from the animation of the daggers flying around me, that damage continues even after you die around your body. Not sure if that's still accurate, but I know about like a year ago or so that was the case. I only got into Rogue Mage recently, so I haven't been keeping up on that. But anyway, I'll just do one more. And try to think of anything that I haven't covered already. But I guess for rogues, you want to have mostly Dex P attack on your gear and Strength P attack. For every 1 point of dexterity a rogue has, it gets 1.3 physical attack. And for every point of strength it has 1.2 points of physical attack. So, I guess. Ideally, you would want 6 dex physical attacks on your gear, but seen as like financially, that's kind of hard to do. It's expensive to do things that way. A lot of people settle for 4 dex and 2 strength, or 3 and 3, which is what I went with, and I kind of regret it now because I'm missing out on quite a bit of attack power. And moving more towards a 4-2 or a 5-1, because I started out as a scout, and scouts only get 1 attack per stat point, not the 1.2 or 1.3, but they use the same gear, just different statting. If I can get into the barrier, okay, there you go. Okay, I'll show you the runes that you want. You want Enigma, Massacre, and Assassin. And you want to replace that Madness with a Revolution 10 if you can, because that Dexterity, even though it's a little less physical attack, once you have all of your percent buffs on, it makes you have about 3,000 physical attack more than you would buff up if you just had the Madness in. But I should probably work on that. Anyway, that's I don't know. Meh. Oh, I didn't check the scrutinizer from last time, and I killed that one mob. Probably muddled it a little bit. Did a crit more with the potion. Whoa. Yeah, it's happened a couple times. I got too confident running around these mobs, and I died horribly. It's a lot easier for a rogue to be through here, because, I'll wait for that one. Because the first little part of that first hallway isn't that bad if you don't have hide, but that's like second hallway and that last one, the aggro range on all the mobs is so horrible that you basically pull the entire instance if you try to pull a mob in those rooms. Unless you hit it with silence and silence doesn't miss, or you're able to successfully one-shot the mob, it'll probably pull the entire room. So, let's try this one more time. Again, going over, you want to make sure Enchanted Throws on. You spam your normal attack button. If you don't know where you can find that, if you took it off your bar, it's right here. To general skills. Yeah, you can just put that on your bar. Just make sure, just like a warrior mage. Same thing, you want to spam that. Okay. Tambo, oh, yeah. Could probably go over. You want housemaid buffs, physical attack. I guess you really don't need the defense one as a rogue because your defense is like paper, so it doesn't really help at all, but just takes up the buff slot. Bye bye. But your attack power buff, I just got these because I always get them. Zodiac buffs, the increases all attributes by 2%, and the legendary one that increases 3%. Hero potion, yeah. Okay, and I guess grassland to increase HP if you want, but I don't have any right now. I'm all out. So whatever. Okay, here we go. Oh, see, I messed up, and I didn't get the tambourine buff. Okay. Like I said, I can farm other places for this, but this is the easiest place to get tier stones. Easiest bosses to kill because they have 7 million HP apiece. But, yeah. Yeah, okay, let's see. Enchanted throw. Oh yeah, that was much better that time. With the critical potion. Yep. Wound attack. Low blow. Shadow stab. I used 2 shadow stabs. 2 low blows. I guess I only used... That's weird. I should have hit twice each. I used 2 wound attacks and hit 5 times. So now if you're doing like instance runs and you have a tank that has AD, that would be Night Warrior, you want to try to use the skill on AD, Authoritative Deterrence, because all 3 of those hits will have that 40, whatever, 50% increase. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you'll see once you get into the more high-end runs. But yeah, I guess that's about it for now. So I guess just mess around with Rogue Mage, try to have some fun, and you'll find out some of the little like tricks and I guess like things to make your life easier as you play it more. I'm still fairly new, so I'm not that great. I might be, I don't know, giving it information that's not optimal, but it's basically the most basic information. So alright, I'll let you guys go for now, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.